Hi, Ilana here with your May market update. What a difference a few weeks can make. We have seen a real stabilization in markets. The VIX, which is the volatility index, has come down by about 50% from its peak in the first week of April, and we've really seen some good support levels on the S&P, the TSX, and the Nasdaq. We've seen really fantastic earning reports from many companies that have reported recently, particularly in the tech sector, with some really decent forward-looking guidance. So really just a very, very different picture right now to what we saw just a few weeks ago. I want to, of course, chat a little bit about the federal election in Canada. So once again, we have a minority liberal government. From a business standpoint, stability is critical, and this result does provide a certain degree of predictability in policy because, of course, we've had a minority liberal government for a number of years in place now. So, for example, things like renewable energy, technology, infrastructure sectors, this could translate to some new investment in these sectors and partnership opportunities. However, looking at the flip side, other areas like oil, gas, pipelines may face increased regulatory scrutiny and potentially some federal changes to funding priorities. So we'll have to watch and see what happens on that front. The Bank of Canada, of course, will remain independent, but fiscal policies, planned housing, healthcare, things like that, could shape the broader economic climate. One thing that I will mention is in the past, a minority liberal government has racked up horrendous deficits. So we're going to be watching closely how they manage the budget as we move forward, and hopefully we don't see this federal budget balloon any further on the deficit side. Overall, what does this mean for businesses? Let's break it down on a couple of different levels. Carbon tax reform. So, of course, Mark Carney has been quite vocal about removing the carbon tax for the end consumer, but keeping industrial pricing. So, hopefully that stands. Infrastructure investment. Projects like high-speed rail, port developments should be at the forefront, and those typically do provide good long-term economic development across multiple sectors. Housing initiatives, there are definitely plans to increase housing construction, although if you look at the imbalance between supply and demand right now, I don't know how quickly that gap can be made up, but that's definitely on the agenda. And then, of course, the big one, trade negotiations and, a shift towards cautious diplomacy with the United States to avoid escalating conflicts. Carney and Trump met at the White House, and the initial minutes of the meeting involved a shower of mutual compliments between the two leaders, lots of praises. They seem to get along really well. One major task for Carney and his team is to better understand the rationale, if there is one, behind the tariffs on Canadian goods and to find a possible off-ramp to de-escalate this and to reach some sort of a reasonable agreement. Of course, the trade relationship came up during the talks, and Trump signaled that he's interested in renegotiating key aspects of the USMCA and telling reporters and leaders that dealing with more large concepts right now, but it's nice to see that the talks are friendly, moving forward, and hopefully we can get some conclusion to this and little steps in the right direction. On the global front, we are seeing some good progress in negotiation with tariffs with multiple countries, whether it's India, continental Europe, and of course now Great Olive Branch being extended with the negotiations in China, which is a critical piece given how important it is in the supply chain of so many products and so many companies. In the meantime, we are watching on the portfolios, making the needed adjustments and recommendations to you to ensure that we are protecting your capital, participating on the growth, and aligning your funds with the type of sectors that are probably going to do well and provide you with great resilience during these next few quarters as we work through some of these global challenges around trade, politics, and geopolitical risk. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or my team. If there are any concepts or anything that you would like to see any further broadcasts on, please don't hesitate to leave it for me in the comment or reach out to my team and provide us some feedback. Thank you and have a great day.